Today on NewsWatch, toning down Trump. Hear why the presidential hopefuls team says Trump will be changing his tune. Plus, you've heard the phrase water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. That could describe life in Flint, Michigan. We'll show you why. And Devon Franklin and Megan Good take us through the weight of their lives. Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Caitlin Burke. Is it possible that we'll see a more presidential, more toned down Donald Trump in the weeks ahead? That's what his advisors are telling GOP leaders behind closed doors. Heather Sells has the latest on the 2016 vote.
Behind the scenes, Trump advisors are saying their candidate's bold and brash campaign style has been, quote, projecting an image.
We're winning by a lot. We're kicking I'll tell you.
That anything goes approach may not be out the door just yet, especially with 5 primary contests next Tuesday.
I've got 2 leftovers. I have to finish that, okay?
But top aides to the Republican frontrunner are telling party leaders Trump will moderate his tone in the coming months. It's a move Trump himself has begun to hint at.
At some point, I'm going to be so presidential that you people will be so bored.
Trump's unpredictability took another turn this week, however. He called the move to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill pure political correctness. And he blasted North Carolina's new bathroom law, which says that biological sex determines who goes into male and female government bathrooms.
He thought that men should be able to go into the girls' bathroom if they want to. Now, let me ask you, have we gone stark raving nuts?
On the Democratic side, as Hillary Clinton's grasp on the nomination tightens, Bernie Sanders is showing few signs of backing down. He's reminding Pennsylvania voters of Clinton's high-priced private speeches to Wall Street, and he's downplaying comments he made that Clinton's wins in the South distort reality because they came from the country's most conservative region. Southern leaders have told Sanders he should amplify their voices and not diminish them. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Colleges and universities are intended to be incubators of ideas, innovation, and debate. Some Catholic universities have taken that notion to questionable levels by celebrating speakers who support policies that go against biblical teachings. As Jennifer Wishon explains, that has some Christians scratching their heads.
On the campuses of prestigious Catholic universities across America, school officials regularly push ideas in direct conflict with the church. For example, in an effort to promote the free exchange of ideas, Georgetown University invited Planned Parenthood President Cecile Richards to speak to students.
Inviting her was seen as an endorsement of her organization's mission.
That led pro-life Georgetown students to invite Abby Johnson, a former Planned Parenthood director turned pro-life advocate, to give students the option to hear the other side of the story.
I think even religious universities have really succumbed to the liberal mindset out there that abortion is helping women and that we don't need to judge that choice.
Most women who have abortions are between the ages of 18 and 29.
I tell people that wherever vulnerable women are, so is Planned Parenthood.
For Brenda Lozano, the debate is very real. The Georgetown student had a hard time listening to Johnson recount what she saw when she worked for Planned Parenthood.
I am someone who's had an abortion, so it was tough to listen to. And also I had to relive that experience listening to her describe what goes on behind the scenes.
For her, getting support and someplace other than an abortion clinic to turn to could have made a difference.
Out of desperation, I made the decision just because I felt alone. I thought I was alone. So I made the decision, and I regretted it as soon as I got finished, I guess, as soon as it was over.
In an article, Kristen Hawkins, president of Students for Life of America, suggests a private Catholic education should be different. Are there not enough well-known pro-life leaders or academics that can speak to Catholic students in a way that encourages their faith and helps them to speak intelligently and compassionately about abortion and truly helping women in crisis, she asks? For some students, pitting the two sides of the abortion debate against each other did little to foster a healthy exchange of ideas.
The best way to serve people is to talk to people who also want to serve others. And even if you have disagreeing ideas, ideally we would have more dialogue between Cecile Richards and Abby Johnson instead of kind of having these own separate camps with their own rallies behind it.
Still, the ordeal helped Lozano find new purpose.
It definitely makes me want to be a little bit more proactive at praying for those that are considering an abortion.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Missouri State University is facing a lawsuit for discriminating against a student. MSU expelled Andrew Cash right before he was to graduate. He had expressed concern over counseling gay couples due to his religious convictions. The attorney representing Cash says universities are supposed to be places to exchange ideas and values. He said, quote, "An educator should not permit her own ideology and agenda to ruin the educational opportunities of her students." The university also ended a working relationship with the Christian Counseling Institute, where Cash was an intern. A federal report reveals that the suicide rate in the U.S. is the highest it's been in nearly 30 years. According to the New York Times, the overall suicide rate increased 24% between 1999 and 2014. The increase is very steep for women and young girls between the age of 10 and 14. The rate is also the highest increase seen in men and middle-aged Americans than ever before. The rates are so high among race, class, and sex that it's brought the national suicide rate up to 13 per 100,000 people. Another quake shook Ecuador Thursday. The 6.0 tumbler struck the coast, but so far no reports of damage or death. Food, water, and medical supplies are slowly reaching the remote areas of Ecuador that were devastated by the much larger quake that hit last Saturday. Medical teams are dispersed throughout the area to treat the victims. Meanwhile, Army soldiers and volunteers from unaffected areas are distributing food and diapers. The death toll has now reached 577, and reconstruction is expected to cost billions of dollars. The Bible says the heavens declare the glory of God. Today, NASA is proving that true. The space agency used ultra-high-definition imaging to release a vibrant video of the Aurora Borealis lights. The video was created using time lapses shot directly from the International Space Station. The video shows both Aurora Borealis and Aurora Australis, a natural light shown from space that occurs when atoms collide in the Earth's atmosphere. Coming up, meet the people who are bringing fresh and living water to communities in Flint, Michigan. Three state and local officials in Michigan are facing criminal charges related to the unprecedented water crisis in the city of Flint. For 2 years, the people in Flint knew what it was like to fear their own water faucet. But as David Brody shows, the church stepped in to help quench the city's physical and spiritual thirst.
With each sip of water, Otilia Brank takes a risk.
I'm afraid, to drink water. So with the water, I pray for it before, I drink.
While people here take the gamble, politicians play the blame game for this humanitarian crisis.
A water expert at the federal EPA tried to raise the alarm in February 2015, and he was silenced.
There were people, more than one, that were making decisions and thinking that, well, maybe Flint isn't who we should go out on a limb for. Are you kidding me?
Here in Detroit, until a few years ago, the city of Flint actually got their water from the Motor City. But then in 2014, the city of Flint decided to use the Flint River to save money. And then it wasn't long after that residents started to complain about how the water tasted and smelled. And then there were the reports of rashes.
In October 2014, the GM plant stopped using Flint water after it began corroding its car parts. Since then, the finger pointing has been nonstop. Flint's former mayor, Dane Walling, says the Department of Environmental Quality assured him the water was safe.
It's your standard tap water.
Republicans blame the EPA. The EPA pointed to resistance at state and local levels. At the state level, accusations continue against Michigan Governor Rick Snyder for ignoring warnings about high lead levels. Snyder says he trusted state officials who told him the water was fine.
The Department of Environmental Quality assured us that Flint's water was safe. It wasn't.
Plausible deniability only works when it's plausible, and I'm not buying that you didn't know about any of this until October 2015. You were not in a medically induced coma for a year.
Meanwhile, residents saw a spike in Legionnaire's disease, hair loss, and E. coli. All of this before people like Otelia received official warnings about the toxic water. With all the blame going around, the people of Flint are tired of words. They need a solution.
The smell is in the bathroom and the water from the faucet. I smell kind of, like it's wasted.
Despite the smell, Otelia says she still bathes in the water because she doesn't have another option.
Bathing, yes, I use the water because I don't have enough water, to go around.
But like a stream in the desert, the church is there to provide relief.
There you go. God bless you.
Churches like El Shaddai Assembly of God, where Pastor Abe Garcia leads the way.
We're a smaller church, but we always want to do something. We always want to reach out to our community. And so we just started devising a praying and getting a plan together. And in January is when we just wanted to become a water distribution center.
That's exactly what they did. With 30% of Garcia's congregation directly affected by the toxic water, they got the ball rolling with a seed offering from the Latin Assemblies of God. And then the help really poured in.
We got connected with Catholic Charities, which is located here in Flint as well, and they have a great water distribution center going on there. They're doing awesome work, and so we connected with them. They're supplying a lot of the water that we have here. We're also getting water from churches in Detroit. There's a church in Detroit, it's Eternal Rock. They're going to be bringing us water as well. We have water. We had a delivery 2 Saturdays ago from a church in Grand Rapids, a Hispanic church.
And soon, Christians from around the country of various denominations and backgrounds began helping those in need, not only at El Shaddai, but at churches throughout the city. Despite the gloomy situation, Garcia says he is seizing the opportunity to distribute the most important water of all, the living water.
The most important water that you need is the water of life that comes from Jesus. Jesus is that water. And so we talked about the encounter of Jesus and the Samaritan woman, how she came and she needed both types of water, most importantly the spiritual water, and then also she needed to draw water from the well.
The work and love by the Flint churches goes a long way with residents like Otelia. And while back in Washington, politicians look to place blame, Otelia says her eyes are fixed on God and her heart full of thanks.
It's a lot of hassle, going out to get water, to have water enough, for cooking and stuff like that. Thank God for this. I should I provide for.
David Brody, CBN News, in Flint, Michigan.
Up next, a popular actress and a hotshot producer are taking a rare stand in Hollywood, one for abstinence. Medical examiners will perform an autopsy on the legendary pop star Prince after he was found dead in his home yesterday. He was 57 years old. Prince was born Prince Rogers Nelson and was raised Seventh-day Adventist. He converted to Jehovah's Witness in 2001, and in a 1999 interview with Dutch TV, Prince said he diligently studied the Bible to learn truth and get, quote, closer to our Creator. In the interview, Prince said his destination was, quote, complete oneness of the Spirit of God and the knowledge of truth. Well, in an age where the supermarket tabloids are filled with stories about who's sleeping with who, celebrity couple Devon Franklin and Megan Good are national bestsellers for not having sex. The two vowed to wait until marriage, and here's the best part, it's strengthened their relationship.
You may have seen actress Megan Good in Jumping the Broom, Think Like a Man, or On the Arm of Her Husband, pastor and producer Devon Franklin, who just recently celebrated the release of Miracles from Heaven.
I'm really excited because it's out and
it's incredible. It's so good. And I'm not just saying because he's my husband. Like, it's so good.
You can say it for that reason too. That's cool.
Well, I mean, I acknowledge it for that reason, but I'm saying it like, it's pretty darn good.
Devon and Megan met during the filming of Jumping the Broom back in 2011. Not long after that, the two started dating. As the months passed, it became clear that something was different about this Hollywood couple, and everyone wanted to know why.
People would come up to us and ask, well, how'd you get to know each other and what was going on?
Then the truth came out. Devon and Megan were waiting until marriage to have sex. As expected, their decision created quite the buzz in Hollywood. But to the couple's surprise, many were intrigued by the idea of abstinence.
As we started telling our story, more people were interested, and people began to really want to get real information that could help them in their love life.
What I found is a lot of people, not just in the world, but that are here in Hollywood as well, that are practicing it, that would never talk about it. They're too embarrassed. They feel they'll be shamed or that they're old school.
Devon had made the decision in his early 20s when he began serving as a pastor.
I wanted to be the same person that could get up and preach and the same person that would go home at night. Didn't want to be a liar, didn't want to be a hypocrite.
He also recognized the ideas that premarital sex was acceptable and even beneficial were based on a lie.
It's just the mere presentation of doubt that maybe it's actually not as bad for you as you think, or maybe it's actually better for you than you think. And that is where the lie comes in, that we don't need to follow God's plan, that there is a better plan out there, an easier plan, and a plan that'll make you happier. And the truth is, there isn't a better plan. God's plan is the best plan. And it does require sacrifice. And it does require obedience. And it's not always easy, but it is deeply rewarding.
Megan, on the other hand, bought into those lies. At 19, she started making compromises, hoping to hold on to love. She discovered years later that it did more harm than good.
You give a piece of yourself away. You lose confidence in the essence of who you were created to be to begin with. And so as you go from relationship, or if you are being promiscuous throughout those years, it damages you.
Those decisions also affected her relationship with Devon.
When we first got together, I had so much baggage and so much damage and so much pain. We had to unpack it, and it was difficult. It was a lot of even pre-engagement counseling, where we literally just talked and, we found that I had this deep-rooted kind of just this feeling of I'll never be enough for somebody, no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try. And it took a long time for us to really get to a place where we got past that.
After 13 months of dating without sex, Devon and Megan tied the knot in June 2012. Now coming up on their 4-year anniversary, they're convinced that their decision to honor each other and God has strengthened their marriage.
I've never been in a relationship before where I have so much trust.
It's just given, us a whole lot more peace, a lot more understanding. Honoring God in this area, He has blessed every other area, because when you present your body as a living sacrifice, He honors that.
In their new book called The Wait, the couple share their story to encourage others that a strong marriage is worth waiting for.
Because practicing it had benefited our lives in such an incredible way, we felt like we wanted to share it so we could help somebody in their life.
Our goal is not to be preachy or be judgmental or tell people how to live their lives. It's to say, this is what we did and it changed everything.
God's plan is the best plan. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The weekend is here, and you may be thinking about heading to the movies. So let's turn now to focus on the family's entertainment department called Plugged In Online for a review of some new releases. Take a look.
If it's a fairy tale you're hoping for, prepare yourself for so much more.
The movie The Huntsman, Winter's War is a fairy tale prequel of sorts. It tells the story of Snow White's nemesis, Queen Ravenna, and the Queen's sister, Freya. Ravenna is already a powerful and evil force, but we see Freya gain her own ice conjuring abilities when a betrayal costs the life of her infant daughter, turning the young woman's heart to a frozen splinter. Cold to the very idea of love, Freya sets up a ruthless kingdom of her own in the north, and from there she steals away children from every corner of the land, growing and shaping them into an army of powerful huntsmen. In that group are a warrior by the name of Eric and his secret love, a female huntsman named Sarah. When the Ice Queen discovers their budding romance, she sees fit to shatter their lives into icy shards. But even the sorcery of wicked queens and the sinister power of a magic mirror can't suppress passion and devotion forever, especially when a pair of skilled huntsmen choose to fight in love's name. This cinematic mix of make-believe storylines is certainly a visually picturesque affair. The magical landscapes, attractive stars, and swirling special effects feel very at home in a fairy tale-like world. But this is an odd mashup movie to be sure. The tale is too dark and disjointed to be satisfying, some sensuality is a disappointment too, and the stabbing, hacking, and corpse-littered battles feel a bit too intense. So I'm giving The Huntsman Winter's War a cautious 3 snarling goblins out of 5 for family friendliness. For a full detailed review, be sure to visit us at PluggedIn.com. Plugging you into the movies, I'm Bob Olszewski for Focus on the Family's Plugged In Movie Review.
That's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care about most at cbnnews.com. And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.